Jai Saparikar Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramhansa Pari Prajakacharya. Astatir Sata Shri Śrīmatī Śrīlekha Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramhansa Pari Prajakacharya. Astatir Sata Shri Śrīmatī Śrīlekha Bhakti Rakha Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Bol Jai. Welcome to Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Vandana. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chaitanya Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vidangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmaitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Chapter 15 of Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta. We're just beginning the 15th chapter. The Transcendental Madness of Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. And we read the introduction yesterday. So we'll begin again on text 1. Jai Jai Śrī Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Śrī Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnu Upadesamrita Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Text number 1. Durgame Krishna Bhavabdo Nimagnon Magna Chaitasa Gaurena Harina Prema Maryada Bodhidashita. The ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna is very difficult to understand, even for the demigods as Lord Brahma. By enacting his pastimes, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu submerged himself in that ocean, and his heart was absorbed in that love. Thus he exhibited in various ways, the exalted position of transcendental love for Krishna. I'm going to read that verse again. The ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna is very difficult to understand, even for such demigods as Lord Brahma. By enacting his pastime, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu submerged himself in that ocean. Prabhu. Nanya?
Yes,
Honey, can you give me some hot water, please? Could you? Thank you. Sorry, I was going to do that before class, but forgot. And his heart was absorbed in that love. Thus he exhibited various... Sorry, I might not be able to do the class. Thus he exhibited in various ways the exalted position of transcendental love for Krishna. Jaya Jaya Śrī Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Adishwara Jaya Nityananda Purnananda Kalevara. All glories to Śrī Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All glories to Nityananda, whose body is always filled with transcendental bliss. Jaya Dvaita Charja Krishna Chaitanya Priyatma Jaya Srivasadi Prabhura Bhaktagana. All glories to Śrī Advaita Acharya, who is very dear to Lord Chaitanya, and all glories to all the devotees of the Lord, headed by Srivas Thakur. Hey Mata Mahaprabhu Ratri Divase Atmaspurti Nahi Krishna Bhava Veshe. Thus Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgot himself throughout the entire day and night, being merged in an ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna. Kabu bhave magna kabu adya bahya spurti kabu bahya spurtiti narite prabhustiti. The Lord would manifest himself in 3 states of consciousness. Sometimes he merged totally in ecstatic emotion. I'm sorry. I may not be able to do this class, but I'll just try. So these 3 stages, sometimes he merged totally in ecstatic emotion, and sometimes he was in partial external consciousness, and sometimes he was in full external consciousness. Of course, we don't. When we're in external consciousness, I mean, we are all the time. Thank you. Huh? Okay. This is not the same for Mahaprabhu. Obviously, I mean, it just goes without saying. But in case anyone is a little bit new and this may be a little bit confusing, well, it is, because we are limited by the English language. So external, meaning he was aware of the devotees and surroundings around him, and other times he was absorbed in another plane. Snana darshana bhojana deha svabhavehaya kumarera chakka jena satata piraya. Actually, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always merged in ecstatic emotion. But just as a potter's wheel turns without the potter's touching it, so the Lord's activities, like bathing, going to the temple to see Lord Jagannath, and taking lunch, went on automatically. Does everybody understand that analogy? So, a potter's wheel, when they make pottery out of clay, there's a wheel that turns, and then they take the clay and they fold it. They, as the wheel is turning, they're doing things and making a vase or making something. So, but the potter's not touching the wheel and making it move. Even if he isn't, that it's still moving. So, in the same way, Mahaprabhu went through all of his seeming external activities without really noticing, without taking much notice. Akadina karena Prabhu Jagannatha darashana Jagannathe teke shak shat Rajendra Nandana. One day, while Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking at Lord Jagannath in the temple, Lord Jagannath appeared to be personally Śrī Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Akabare spure prabhura Krishnera panchagana panchagune kare panchendriya akarshana. When Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized Lord Jagannath to be Krishna himself, Lord Chaitanya's 5 senses immediately became absorbed in attraction for the 5 attributes of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Purport: Shri Krishna's beauty attracted the eyes of Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. Krishna's singing and the vibration of his flute attracted the Lord's ears. The transcendental fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet attracted his nostrils. Krishna's transcendental sweetness attracted his tongue, and Krishna's bodily touch attracted the Lord's sensation of touch. Thus, each of Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu's 5 senses was attracted by one of the 5 attributes of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So Mahaprabhu's divine senses were attracted to the 5 attributes. His divine senses, not these gross senses, of course, were attracted by the corresponding qualities of the Lord. Akamana panchadike panchagunatane tanatani prabhuda manahila ageyane. Just as in a tug of war, the single mind of Lord Chaitanya was attracted by in 5 directions by the 5 transcendental attributes of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Thus the Lord became unconscious. So what does unconscious mean? With regard to Mahaprabhu, means unconscious entirely of anything outside of that absorption, of what he was absorbing. So it's superconscious, not unconscious. Hanakale Ishwarera Upala Boga Sharira Bhaktagana Mahaprabhure Gade Lanya Aila. Just then the Upal Bhog ceremony of Lord Jagannath concluded, and the devotees who accompanied Lord Chaitanya to the temple took him back home. Swarupa Ramananda Edui Janalanya Vilapa Karena Dunhara Kantete Dariya. That night, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was attended by Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai. Keeping his hands around their necks, the Lord began to lament. Krishnera biyogi radhara utkantita mana vishakare kahe apana utkanta karana. When Śrīmati Radharani was very much agitated due to feelings of great separation from Krishna, she spoke a verse to Vishaka, explaining the cause of her great anxiety and restlessness. Se shlokapadi apane kare manastapa shlokera arta shunaya dunhare kariya vilapa. Reciting that verse, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his burning emotions. Then with great lamentation, he explained the verse to Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai. Saundaryamrita Sindhu Banga Lalana Chitradi Samplavaka Karna Nandi Sanarma Ramya Vachana Kotindu Sitangakaha Saurabhyamriti Samplavavritta Jagatiyu Sharamyadara Shri Gopendra Shuta Sakarshati Bala Panchendriyanyalime. Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, though the hearts of the gopis are like high-standing hills, they are inundated by the waves of the nectarian ocean of Krishna's beauty. His sweet voice enters their ears and gives them transcendental bliss. The touch of his body is cooler than millions and millions of moons together, and the nectar of his bodily fragrance overfloods the entire world. O my dear friend, that Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj, and whose lips are exactly like nectar, is attracting my senses by force, my 5 senses. This verse is found in the Antya-līlā by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj. Krishna Rupa Shabda Sparsha Shaurabhya Adara Rasa Jara madhurya kahana nadhyay. Deki lobe pancha jana. Aka ashvamora mana. Chari pancha pancha dikedai. Lord Śrī Krishna's beauty, the sound of his words and the vibration of his flute, his touch, his fragrance and the taste of his lips are full of an indescribable sweetness. When all these features attract my five senses at once, my senses all ride together on a single horse of my mind, but they want to go in five different directions. So there's one horse, but all the passengers want to go in five different directions. And I'm just going to say this again. These are the transcendental senses of the Lord and the transcendental senses of the devotees. The transcendental, this is all nothing bodily at all. But because Krishna's pastimes, Braja pastimes, are called adhokshaja, aprakrita.
Transcendental and mundane.
It looks like the mundane. It's resembling that. But it is entirely opposite. Sakhi shuna mora dukera karana mora panchendriya guna mahalam patadasyu gana shabekahe hara paradana. Oh, my dear friend, please hear the cause of my misery. My five senses are actually extravagant rogues. They know very well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they still want to plunder Krishna's property. This is very charming because they don't really care if he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead or not. But when that is referred to, that is, I don't know how to say it. It's very charming. Aka ashva aka kshane pancha pancha diketane aka mana kon dikejai aka kale shabatane gela kodara parane e dukkha sahana najai. My mind is just like a single horse being ridden by the five senses of perception, headed by sight. Each of my senses wants to ride that horse, and thus they pull my mind in five directions simultaneously. In what direction will it go? If they all pull at one time, certainly the horse will lose its life. How can I tolerate this atrocity? Indriye nakari rosha, iha sabara kaha dosha, Krishna rupa dira maha akashana, rupadi pancha panchetane, kela godara parane, mora dehe narahe jivana. My dear friend, if you say, just try to control your senses, what shall I say? I cannot become angry at my senses. Is it their fault? Krishna's beauty, sound, touch, fragrance, and taste are by nature extremely attractive. These five features are attracting my senses, and each wants to drag my mind in a different direction. In this way, the life of my mind is in great danger, just like a horse ridden in five directions at once. Thus I am also in danger of dying. Krishna Rupa Mrita Sindhu, Tahara Taranga Bindu, Aka Bindu Jagata Dubai, Tri Jagate Jatanari, Tara Chitta Uchagiri, Taha Dubai Age Uttidai. The consciousness of each woman within the three worlds is certainly like a high hill, but the sweetness of Krishna's beauty is like an ocean. Even a drop of water from that ocean can flood the entire world and submerge all the high hills of consciousness. So the great virtue, the great virtuous female virtues, they're like a very high hill. Krishna is plundering that, drowning that. Krishnera vachana madhuri Nanarasa Narmadari Tara Anyaya Katana Nayaya Jagatera Nari Rakane Madhuri Guni Banditane Tatatani Krishnera Pranajai. The sweetness of Krishna's joking words plays indescribable havoc within the hearts of all women. His words bind a woman's ear to the qualities of their sweetness. There is a tug of war, and the life of the ear departs. Krishna Anga Shushitala Kikahi Mutara Bala Chataya Jine Kotindu Chandana Shashaila Nari Ravaksha Taha Akarshite Daksha Akarshaye Nari Ganamana. Krishna's transcendental body is so cool that it cannot be compared even to sandalwood pulp or to millions upon millions of moons. It expertly attracts the breasts of all women, which resemble high hills. Indeed, the transcendental body of Krishna attracts the minds of all women within the three worlds. Krishnanga Sorabhyabhara Mrigamada Madahara Nilotpalera Hare Garbhadana Jagata Narira Nasha Tara Bitara Pate Vasha Narigane Kare Akarshana. The fragrance of Krishna's body is more maddening than the aroma of musk, and it surpasses the fragrance of the bluish lotus flower. It enters the nostrils of all the women of the world, and making a nest there, thus attracts them.
The fragrance of the blue lotus.
Huh?
Fragrance of the blue lotus.
Uh-huh.
That's why we should always
kind of fragrance.
What's that?
That's why we should always smell the little Q-tips that you use to
Mm-hmm.
clean the Lord's feet.
Yeah.
The musk.
Yes.
By the fragrance.
Well, yes, and that point is important because the senses of our real self are not awakened. We've become enslaved by the senses of the mundane body, and this is a natural jail cell for those who want to exploit. They're for the exploiters. So this is none of these things we can relate to by dint of any kind of experience, because these are all to do with the pure, broad, noble hearts of those who are fully 100% self-sacrificing, self-giving units. They have no conception of any selfish interest at all. It's complete. They're devoid of that entirely. So we are trying to purify our senses, or we could say awaken our senses, through prasadam, like smelling the things which have been offered to the Lord, and so on and so on, taking Mahaprasadam. Krishnera Adamrita Tate Karpura Mandasmita Swamaduri Hare Nari Ramana Anyatra Chadaya Loba Napaile Manekshoba Brajanari Aganera Muladana. Krishna's lips are so sweet when combined with the camphor of his gentle smile that they attract the minds of all women, forcing them to give up all other attractions. If the sweetness of Krishna's smile is unobtainable, great mental difficulties and lamentation result. That sweetness is the only wealth of the gopis of Vrindavan. Ata kahi gaurahari duijane rakat kantadari kahe shuna swarupa ramarai kaha karon kaha jana kaha gela krishna pana Duhe mora kahan se upai. After speaking in this way, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu caught hold of the necks of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, like caught hold meaning. Then the Lord said, "My dear friends, please listen to me. What shall I do? Where shall I go? Where can I go to get Krishna? Please, both of you, tell me how I can find him." "Hey Mata Gaura Prabhu Prati Dine Dine Pilapa Karena Swarupa Ramananda Sane." Thus absorbed in transcendental pain, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu lamented day after day in the company of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai. So what is transcendental pain? It is the expression of the highest, it is the highest expression of devotion. And devotion is the essence of happiness. So this is a very great mystery to those of us who are trying to extract personal experience from this mundane plane. Very, very difficult for us to understand that. But we're hearing it with faith and worshipping such a wonderful objective. Thus absorbed in transcendental pain, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu lamented day after day in the company of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai. "Sei dui jana Prabhu re kare asvasana, Swarupa gai Rai kare shloka patana." To enhance the ecstatic mood of the Lord, Swarup Damodar Goswami would sing appropriate songs, and Ramananda Rai would recite suitable verses. In this way, they were able to pacify him. So, this is not the kind of pain that we experience in disappointment of our exploiting tendencies. We get giddy from the prospect of exploitation, and we fall into a darkness when that's disappointed. This is nothing like that. Of course, we all know this, but I think it's very important to remind ourselves about these things. Otherwise, why would Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai sing appropriate songs to enhance the mood of Mahaprabhu? Karnamrita Vidyapati Shri Gita Govinda Ihara Shloka Gite Prabhura Karaya Ananda. The Lord especially liked to hear Bilvamangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, the poetry of Vidyapati, and Shri Gita Govinda by Jayadev Goswami. Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu felt great pleasure in his heart when the associates chanted verses and when his associates chanted verses and sang songs from these books. Akadina Mahaprabhu Samudra Tire Jaite Pushpera Ujjaya Tata Dekena Achambite. One day while going to the beach by the sea, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu suddenly saw a flower garden. Vrindavana Brahmetaha Pashila Danya Prema Veshe Bhule Taha Krishna Anveshiya. Śrī Chaitanya mistook that garden for Vrindavan and very quickly entered it. Absorbed in ecstatic love of Krishna, he wandered throughout the garden searching for him. Rase Radha Lanya Krishna Antardana Kaila Pache Saki Gana Jaiche Chahi Bedaila. After Krishna disappeared with Radharani during the rasa dance, the gopis wandered in the forest looking for him. In the same way, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu wandered in that garden by the sea. After Krishna disappeared with Radharani during the rasa dance, the gopis wandered in the forest looking for him. In the same way, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu wandered in that garden by the sea. exactly in that same mood, he is looking for Krishna there. Se bhava veshe prabhu prati tarulata shloka pade padi padi chahi bhule jata jatata. Absorbed in the ecstatic mood of the gopis, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu wandered here and there. He began to inquire after Krishna by quoting verses to all the trees and creepers. Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu then quoted the following 3 verses from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Chucha priyala panasashana kovidara janvarka bilva bakulam rakadamba nipaha Jainye pararta bhavaka jamuno pakula samshantu Krishna padavim rahitatmanang naha. The gopi said, O Chuta tree, Priyala tree, Panasha, Ashana, and Kovidar, O Jambu tree, O Arka tree, O Bale, Bakula, and Mango, O Kadamba tree, O Nipa tree, and all other trees living on the bank of the Jamuna for the welfare of others. Please let us know where Krishna has gone. We have lost our minds and are almost dead. When Śrīmati Radharani and all the Braja Gopis saw Krishna in Kurukshetra, because those great personalities, like the trees on the bank of the Jamuna, were not present, they thought, well, this is the wrong place, because they are also exalted, great, always doing their seva in full surrender for the pastimes of the Lord. That creates this extraordinary atmosphere, which is all in the conscious plane, and which cannot be imitated or replicated in any way, any ordinary way. Sometimes people think that the beauty of Vrindavan, which is being described, is something like we go into some nice forest and then we like to feel that by our senses. That is not the same thing at all. The Braja Gopis are speaking to these trees. They're not, and very, very affectionately. They're not, this is not madness. Haribol, so we can stop right here. Jai Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. So now, continuing our study of Śrī Upadesamrita by our Divine Param Master, Srila Rupa Goswami. Jai Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai. Jai Sad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. And we are reading the commentaries given by Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dharadev Goswami Maharaj. Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam udaropasta vegam etan vegam yo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam prithivim sastisyat atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas chaloyam cha sadhya bhakti vinasiti utsan nishayadaryat tat karma pravartana sangatyagat satovrite sadhya bhakti prasidyati dadati pratigrahnati guhyam makyati pruchati Punkte bojayate chaiva sadvidam pritilakshanam Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti che pranati bishcha bhajantam isham shushushaya bhajana vigyamananyamanya nindari shunya hridam ipsita shangalabdya Dishtai sabhava janite vapushascha doshe na prakritatvam miha bhakta janasya pasye gangam vasam nakula budbudape napanke brahmadravatvam apagachati niradharmai Syat Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya Pito patapta rasanasya narochikanu Kinvadaramανudinam kalu shaiva justa Sadvikramad bhavati tad kadamula hantri Tannamarupa charitari sukirtananu Smrityo kramena rasana manasini yoja Tristan Brajetara Nuragi Chukanugami Kalam Nayeda Kilamityupadesha Sharam. Then number 9. Vaikuntaj Janito Varamadupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavat Vrindaranyamudara Pani Ramanat Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kunda Mihapiko Kulapate Premamrita Plavana Kuryadasya Virajato Giritate Sevang Vivekinakaha. So this last verse is not last, but this number 9 verse. Above Vaikuntha is Mathura, where Krishna took birth, and above Mathura is Vrindavan, where Krishna enjoys the rasa dance. Above Vrindavan is Govardhan, where Krishna plays amorously. And above Govardhan is Radha Kunda, where the nectar of Krishna's divine love overflows. But wise soul would not serve Radha Kunda at the base of Govardhan Hill. Okay, so now we're reading page 237.
When we not reading this other thing, is reason for it?
Well, as we're going along, we're trying to memorize these verses, and we are memorizing up to the verse whose commentary we're now reading. I mean, of course, we can go on and read the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, we should all put this on our wall and read it every single morning, noon, and afternoon, and evening. It is only ego, separate interest, that creates misery. Local interest is absent in the absolute consideration. It is not real. It is misconception. Leela is absolute in Goloka, and misconception, separate interest, can only obscure this. So again, I heard this again this morning. Maya is an almost non-existent thing It is Swarup Shakti, which is really existing. And Maya is a misconception, a negative misconception of that. So our suffering is caused 100% by ourselves. And this is not very easy to detect always. Jai Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ji, Giraju Ki. But when some kind of new little suffering comes, even though we cannot detect how we are causing it, if we bow down and say, yes, my Lord, even though my mind is raging, this is that, and that is, and this is the cause, and this is the solution, and all that. I mean, we are definitely bowing down and saying, my Lord, you are showing me something, and it is good for me. I cannot see that right now, but very quickly, something will be shown. And we think, oh, how was I living with that for so long? How was I living with this self-centered, stubborn attachment to things going my way? And it's not even my way. It's the way of my captor. How was it that I lived with that so long? And this will happen again and again, because there are so many levels of attachment. But what an exciting journey. A journey of self-realization. This doesn't happen overnight. Well, not to souls as conditioned as I am anyway. A play should be performed on a stage. When the play is seen on the stage, it seems to be perfect. But if the play is performed in a village, then it may not be so relishable. Similarly, in Goloka, everything is perfect. It is all nirguna. But here in the mundane play, when the play is performed, we find it somewhat difficult. That difficulty, however, is with the audience. Srila Guru Maharaj is saying something inconceivable here. But it is a fact. It's not that Maya has a little geographical area where there's no reality. That's an absurd conception. Is there somewhere where there's not reality? That doesn't make any sense at all. So only one who can see deeply will come to the vision of Goloka. Because we are in the forest of misconception. In the forest means it's in the plane of our own consciousness. And so we are not seeing that play very well. Like if you go to see a play and maybe there's a house or a tree or something, and we can't see it very well. There's a bunch of people standing in front of me and a dog barking and all. So many things are going on. But when it's up on a stage, it's very easy to see. So we are trying to perceive reality. We're trying to understand that is perceivable. But we are looking through so many obstructions, but they are all in the plane of my own subjective consciousness. All the obstructions are in my own. Those are buildings and structures which I built to protect my ego, to protect the thing, and thus I've built a jail cell around myself. But I did it. I'm the one who did that. Nobody else is responsible. Certainly Krishna is not responsible. So the same thing viewed from different stages of consciousness seems different. But it really struck me up in the woods the other day, sitting with Bhakti Lalita in the middle of a river, that every single thing, every single atom can be seen in many, many different levels. And that is a fact. And Guru Maharaj is completely confirming this kind of thing. So the same thing viewed from different stages of consciousness seems different. It varies according to the viewer's capacity. So now we are seeing in a very cloudy way. According to a gradation of self-interest, viewers see things of variegated nature, meaning what one person is seeing and what another person is seeing. What I am seeing and what my great Gurudev is seeing, not the same thing. It's like a mad person and the sane person. So we are to eliminate the selfish characteristic of our vision. Are you taking notes today?
No, I'm not taking notes, but I'm listening.
Okay. I like it when you take notes. Because then I like to, because taking notes is so helpful. That does not allow us to have an independent vision of the environment. What does independent mean? Independent means...
I'm in control.
No, real independent means I am not dependent on any circumstance for my happiness. Addiction is not independence. The addict thinks, oh, I'm so great, I can go and get this substance, that some. No one is going, yeah, man, you got it made. They're thinking, oh, how did you get into this mess? So when we think, oh, I'm so strong, I can get this for myself, I can attract everyone to myself, I can get this money, everyone will admire me, I'm going to be enjoying with it. That's not independence. That's addiction. It's the opposite of independence. And this word, this morning, this expression of Guru Maharaj is very strong. Keeps coming in my mind, well, by his grace sometimes, keeps coming in my mind. Do not do anything to attract anyone to you. Do not do anything to attract anyone to yourself. Don't live a hypocritical life. It's hypocritical. It looks sincere, or it looks innocent, or it looks some people don't even pretend, but it's hypocrisy. It's not sincere. It's not service. It's not friendly even. So that to be independent is gone from my consciousness completely. So we are to eliminate the selfish characteristic of our vision that does not allow us to have an independent vision of the environment. Our understanding is prejudice, and we read the environment according to our prejudices. And therefore, we get disappointed, we get angry, we get forgetful. All the stupid things that we are entangled in this world are all due to these prejudices that we have very happily cultivated within ourselves, because it is our way of, oh, this is going to work out for me. I'm going to see things this way. Making some stupid noise. Some stupid noise. This world is full of the noise of prejudicial ignorance. from top to bottom. All lies. Brahma, understanding. Pramada, inattentiveness. Vipralipsya, deceit. And karanapatava, sensory incapacity. These four kinds of defects in us do not allow us to grasp the real purpose of the environment and what we see. The difference is wholly within the onlooker, the seer. There's no problem in the environment. It is divine, 100% conscious, and very, very affectionate. So why can't I see that? Because I want to exploit it. And so I'm the ping pong ball on the table of rāga dveṣa. The various covers are within, and when they are removed, we shall see everything as Goloka. We are there. Everyone is there. The difference is in the stage of the onlooker, the degree of prejudice. Okay? We have to keep hearing this. Not that I'll be out there and trying to imagine Goloka or anything. That'll make us...
I'll see you there tomorrow.
Huh?
I'll see you there tomorrow.
Yeah, right. But we should understand these things.
Our mea culpa.
This is going to be very gradual. But we must know that the only way to clear the consciousness of all these prejudices is Śaraṇāgati. There is no other option. And anybody who says, oh, surrender, that's for the advanced devotee. How are you going to get advanced without surrender? How do you get there? You just I don't know. I can't think of another way. Guru Maharaj said all of our sadhana, all of the things we do in the temple may be piety, mundane piety, or may be impiety, offense. Without surrender, they will not be spiritually helpful. And we have to understand this process. We have to understand this. And you know why we don't? Because the ego is a big brass band, and we want to practice Krishna consciousness without Krishna. Because Krishna is the supreme controller. And everything that happens to me is good. But we don't like that part of him. We like him to stay there and be pretty and do stuff that we like.
Can I say something? It's like we want all of his qualities, but don't want to acknowledge where it comes from. We want all of his good, all of Krishna's good qualities, and we want to say that, oh, I'm this, I'm that, but we don't want to acknowledge who it comes from.
Well, yeah, we don't actually want to surrender.
Yeah.
But that surrendering process is gradual. But the surrendering process is fundamental in devotional life. It cannot be eliminated. It is given to us from the beginning. It is the beginning. It is the platform, Gurudev says, from which the rocket may go. If there is no mood of surrender, and if there's no practice of surrender, and believe me, it's really, really hard, and anyone knows that who's trying. The environment comes and gives us a slap, and we don't want to acknowledge that was good for me. We don't want to do that. Why? We believe that Krishna is we're out preaching. We have our temple, but we do not believe it. We do not believe that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So if we don't believe it, then what am I going to say to anybody else? Making a pretty speech. It's really hard to do this. And sometimes when we see one of our friends going through some difficulty, we can give a little ordinary comfort. Yeah, I know, that's really hard. And then some reminder. But it's hard. It's a hard life. When you're fighting on a battlefield, your fellow soldiers and you to your fellow soldiers will give some comfort. Not just, well, it's for a good cause, we're fighting. You sometimes just say, man, do you need something? But we are not compromising the principle of what is our practice. We can go home from any event or any interaction, and we're practically limping from the frustration of it. But eventually, after we lick our wounds, we have to remember, you are the cause of this. You are the cause of all causes. And I am responsible for the necessity of my own rectification. And this came to rectify me. And it is your grace. You are the doctor. It's not your fault that I'm sick. It's my fault. But you're so merciful that you have sent this circumstance to help me to overcome this horrible disease. Gradually. But we want to just, chant this number of rounds and jump around this many of times and do these things. And then, we're going to just, boom, be in the spiritual world. Without surrender, that's an absurd idea. Goloka is the plane of utter surrender. There is no separate interest there at all. Guru Maharaj said, in Goloka, the very idea of taking is completely absent. There's no taking. It is all giving. So how far am I from that? Quite a distance. And it's good, because it's good to understand, where am I on the map? Otherwise the map means nothing. So we're in it. We're in for the long haul. And we're looking, and our companions are also in it for the long haul. Are the most wonderful. There is no friendship that can compare to that. So, Jai Śrī Upadesamrita ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai, Jai Srila Om Vishnu Pad Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rak Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Ara Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Just thinking of something, can't quite remember it. Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Śrīmatī Śrīlekha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hari
Hare.
Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Pari Brajaka Astatara Sata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Pari Brajaka Astatara Sata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Upadesamrita Guru Varga Ki Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Śrī Chaitanya Saraswati Ki Jai. Sadiya Sakmat Ki Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Ki Jai. Kolkarta Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Śrīmatī Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. And every day is a festival in Śrī Chaitanya Saraswati Ki Jai. Haribol.
Jai Śrīmatī Śrīlekha Didi.
Jai Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Jai.
We're so fortunate to have the association of Srimad Krishna Prabhu, Sri Shakti, now Jagannath Priya Prabhu, Jai Krishna Prabhu from Peru, and last but not least, Lavanya Didi.
Jai Jai Jai. Haribol. Jai Gurudev Jai. Haribol.